University. Yeah, they coming over here hating on us. Oh, there go Altrex. Oh shit, there he go. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Oh, I thought this was Artie. This is Artrex Lives. No way. How you doing, sir?
Oh,
No
that's
way. I'm
both
thinking.
my accounts right there. So it's the same guy, same
Oh,
person.
okay. What's going on? No way.
Hey, long time no see, man. What's going on?
I can't complain. How you doing today?
Oh, all good, all good. How about yourself?
Oh, I cannot complain, man. Hope everybody you doing good. I hope the whole family doing good. Let me get this screen thing off. Let me quit. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I'm just wondering that my brother man was talking this great stuff that we was one people and there's clerk of court buildings in America and there's law in America and a lot of the slavery stuff is fake and the
Mm-hmm.
law stuff is real. And I was just wondering, why was you saying something that might be wrong or anything? I'm just wondering.
Oh, well, I was only able to get bits and pieces from what I was able to pay attention to, but it seemed like almost everything he got was wrong.
Okay, well, we could go over it though because me and him talk the same tongue.
Okay.
If you think something's wrong, like I say that when he talk about law, I think that we are when we claim that we're black, we're
Mm-hmm.
subject to the law. So he's saying it right though that we should go to these clerk of court buildings that's old that's old Roman Empire structures, and we should go through these clerk of court buildings and register and declare on the record as a newspaper and do all this stuff and publish and then set our will because it's our will.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to follow the great European way because there was some great in 1778. We're just trying to set the constitutional rights for everybody, the indigenous rights for everybody, sir. What's wrong with that? I
Well,
digress.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna put myself on pause. I'm gonna put myself on pause. Hold on. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
uh, we good? Okay. There ain't nothing wrong with advocating for one's rights. It's a matter of whether or not the process you're and by which you're doing it is in any way effective.
Okay, like our brothers, like everybody that works, there's different types of statuses that people
Mm-hmm.
are in. Some are in like a real bad status where they pay all the bills and they're out of law and the Constitution don't go for them. And some of them are waking up like the Moors and saying that we're not from Blackadonia. We was looking for this country called Black and we can't find it. And then we look for this country called Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big continent. That ain't a country. Like my great European brothers said, they come from England. They say they come from the lands of Scotland. They come from the lands of France and come from the lands of Ireland. They don't say they come from Europe. You know what
Right,
I'm
right,
saying? So,
but there's a reason for that. I mean the reason for that is because of you know Africans were taken via through slavery, through the slave trade. They didn't, without to put it bluntly, they didn't give two fucks about what tribe the slaves came from or their national identity of which they came from in Africa. uh so they didn't keep any records of that. So you wouldn't that's why people wouldn't know where exactly they're from in Africa, and now that Africa also has nation states today. So that's why you say like they're from the African continent, because there is no genealogy that they can go through to find out what nation they're from. You see what I'm saying?
yes, when the slaves came over here, I mean, when Christopher Columbus came over here, he said that he seen copper-colored people with gold chains around their neck, and he called them niggers. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's a word you should use. I'm just saying that he's saying that everybody that's so-called brown or black ain't from Africa slave trade. So we're just representing the so-called what Christopher Columbus called us. Like, oh, he's seen us over here. So everybody ain't from Africa. And then we come to find out about all the wars that happened over here, where the Europeans came over here as so-called in a state of workitude because their lands can't have like fruits and vegetables and don't have every source like the Americas and Canada do. So they came over here as working people, servants. And in Latin, the word servant is slave. So the
Wait,
story got
who?
tripped up.
I'm sorry. Wait. Who? Well, you gotta back up. Who are we talking about as saying like they? Who, when you say they were brought here, who are we talking about? Or
The
they came
Frenchmen,
here?
the French and the English, after the so-called slave story, there was the so-called Mongols that came in and beat up on y'all or something, and y'all got kicked out of Europe or some story. I mean, that ain't true.
Uh, like who are we saying? Y'all? You gotta fill in the blanks here.
Okay, my fault. The whole European continent, the
Uh,
West, like there's Western Europe and there's Eastern Europe.
Right.
The Western bloc of Europe got kicked out of Europe and they came over here to Americas on a servitude state. That's why they first came to labor land. And labor in all European languages mean land of the workers, land of the servers, the serfs, the slaves.
Okay.
But you my brothers though, because y'all fought hard. I digress. I digress.
Well. Okay. If I can relate to you, what my understanding is that the first, at least the English colonists were Puritans who came through via the reason they came over here was due to religious persecution. You know, Columbus came in here to find a new route to the Indies. There are a lot of motivations for people why Europeans went to the new world. You know, I put in quote fingers. I don't know if you can really generalize and say that Eastern Europe forced out Western Europe to colonize America or what is now America.
Why did y'all? You said the first reason y'all got out of there because y'all was getting persecuted.
Yes,
So what does that mean? Like y'all couldn't stand up for yourself over there in your homelands or something?
yeah, that's what happens when you have a minority without any semblance of power is oppressed by a majority that does have power.
Yeah, that's messed up. I'm not saying no, that's horrible stuff, especially me being a so-called melanated copper colored person. I would never slander nobody's struggle. Never, never that. My ancestors would never.
But to be sure, I'm not suggesting that my family personally, went through that. I am saying I'm only giving it to a small group of colonists who came to the New World. That was one of their motivations. That's not to say that's all of Europe was being persecuted and moved over here, or all a wide swath of people. I guess my point is you seem to be using a broad brush to describe the motivations behind people's migration.
I'm just going off what you said, brother, in the great Christopher Columbus story, brother. You said that y'all came over here through religious persecutions. So that's saying that there was some horrible things happening
That
in y'all's lands and some
that
very evil people that was doing some evil things to a minority group.
that's
So
what
that's horrible.
that's
And then
one of them. That's one of the
that's when
motivations. I said one of the
okay.
motivations.
And then when Christopher Columbus came over here, the words that came out of his mouth was he seen some niggers with gold chains around their neck. So
Uh,
I don't. So I'm. I don't represent the slave side of Christopher Columbus. I represent the gold chain niggers.
Okay, so I'm not going to speak to quote directly quoting what Christopher Columbus said upon discovery. I will say that he went through the Caribbean, or what's now the Caribbean, Hispaniola, Dominica, etc. And he probably, and my interpretation would have been he's probably referring to the native Indians that were there, or the Native Americans that were there. I would say that he was not referring to what we would say black or African peoples that were there.
I don't know what Christopher Columbus said. I know he didn't reach the Americas.
But
All I know is
you
when
said
he got
you made a direct quote that said he was, he found some. I ain't gonna say that word, but
I know what I'm saying. I respect that. Or just let's say he said he found some brown people over here.
okay.
I understand what you're saying. Some brown people. My fault. He found some black or brown people over here.
Okay,
See,
and I would say that those were I would say among them the Taino Indians in Puerto Rico were probably among them. Um, But you seem to say that you would, I guess my assumption is you would argue that those were what we consider Africans.
No, I'm saying that if people claim slavery, I'm gonna let them claim slavery. If people claim Christopher Columbus, I'm gonna let them claim Christopher Columbus. If they claim that they're the slave owners, I'm not mad at that. All I'm saying is when I read them stories again, they say that Christopher Columbus sailed over here and came to the islands. So
Right.
he didn't even make it to the Americas. They got a million brown people in it. He made it to the islands, and he said he seen island people that was brown with gold chains around their neck. That's all I'm saying, brother.
Oh, okay. I mean,
So that's
I don't know
we got
what.
history over here. And then Sunel University, he showed that the Great Rome, which is a great place, hey, beautiful place in Europe. With it's got beautiful structures. It got Paris. It got Venice Beach. It got England. It got Scotland. It got all the castles over there.
Right.
And the Moorish castles, the Moorish castles. But when we come to America, they got it Texas big. Like we got it, like whatever they got in Europe, we got it 5,000 times better. No, I'm really putting thousands to it. Whatever is in Europe, we have 1,000 of it. And then come to find out, we the ones that got to fight in army, the so-called Irish Americans and the American Americans, the so-called copper people that Christopher Columbus saw. So it's just a different ideology, man. And I'm just wondering where you see Sunel go wrong at. That's what this argument. I'm just saying Sunel. We was on Sunel, Mr. Sunel, who teaches us a lot about that. You're indigenous, he indigenous. I have so-called indigenous air rights. So we all one happy family. I'm just wondering where is that wrong at?
Well, he went off on in the last part of it, he went off on a bunch of illegal declarations that I was calling bullshit on. As far as what he's saying, the idea that you can declare a nationality despite being born within what's considered to be the United States, I would say that's patently false. I mean, he made a lot of declarations with regards to the law. I didn't hear everything that he said with regards to what his views on history and architecture. You said that there's Moorish castles in the United States. I'm trying to figure out where.
In every state. He was showing them. In every state, they're called Oxford University, they're called Princeton University, they're called Clerk of Courts, they're called the asylums. These
Oxford
buildings are,
University is in England.
I mean, not Oxford, but I was talking about all the Ivy League schools.
All the wait. Okay. Time
Would
to
you like
fuck
me to
out.
show pictures real quick?
Are you serious in saying that all the Ivy League schools were once Moorish castles?
Who built them then if y'all didn't reach here until the 1700s?
I'm sorry, the colonists have been here since the 1500s.
Facts, and they said them buildings was built in Roman times, brother.
Who said they were built in Roman times?
Them are Roman architectures, brother.
Oh my God! You realize that Roman architecture isn't solely restricted to when the Romans were still around, right? You realize there's what's called the Gilded Age in the 1920s, where there was a revitalization of public buildings, including courthouses, that were built to mimic Roman architecture. Congress was built in that fashion, but Congress wasn't. The Capitol building was built like that. The Capitol building was built in the 1700s or the early 1800s, but it used Roman architecture. The usage of an architectural style is not limited to the period it's meant to replicate.
You said it did what? It replicated it?
Yes, there's Roman style, there's Gothic.
They redid it, correct? They came over here after the Civil War and redid the structures. Could I have 1 minute? Because I have not cut you off at all.
Go ahead.
I have not cut. I'm just saying, no. I'm respecting what you're saying because I'm saying a lot though. But I'm just like, I'm gonna show you my screen real quick. I'm just gonna show you little things when I go post. It ain't too much talking. It's post. When they say post Civil War. So they're saying this stuff was around pre-Civil War. I'm just gonna type up post Civil War pics.
So,
And then you forgot that all the inventions come from America, not Europe. Europe has not got one invention ever until they came to the Americas. Just remember that. Not
uh,
one. Remember that.
not a single invention.
I said I'm still waiting on it, brother. I'm still waiting on your invention. It should be at the snap of your head if you're from Europe, brother.
The printing press.
The printing press comes from America, where hemp comes from, brother. Do you want me to give you the person that made it?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you like me to give you the person that made all the so-called inventions? I'll look it up for you, like I'm looking up these buildings
Wait,
right here.
it's not. There's just one person who invented everything.
It comes from Latin America, where our children languages come from, like all like the language you speak, Portuguese,
Oh
Greek,
shit.
everything comes
Okay,
from Latin
okay.
America.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm glad you brought that up. You remember how you and I had a big discussion on your claims about Latin America and Latin languages. We may have to revisit that, but go ahead.
Okay. Now, when you say that it comes from Italy, that's where y'all saying it comes from Italy. It comes from the city of Luzia. So if a country that was speaking the greatest language in the world, why would they digress themselves? Why would they talk a subject language?
Because of the fall of the Roman Empire, that's what happens when a empire
Why would
falls.
they change their language?
Because do you not know? Understand? There was such a thing as vulgar Latin. All of the Romance languages come from vulgar Latin. That was the spoken language, and they were all regional. Those regions ended up becoming what's now Spain, France, and Italy itself.
So all them languages come from Latin America, correct?
Not Latin America, Latin.
I mean, where is Latin land at? Where is there a Latin land at in Europe, sir?
Latin is the language of the Romans.
Okay, where is the Latin lands at? Who do they call the Latins?
No one.
They don't call it Latin America?
No. Romans
Hold on,
spoke Latin.
Let me just look up Latin America. I just want to look up Latin America. I'm just going to look it up on Google and see what it says about the whole world.
Do you understand why it's called Latin America?
No, it's not called Portuguese, the Latin child language. It's not called Spanish, the Portuguese. I mean, the
Latin America is called Latin America because they speak all of the most of them speak Romance languages like Spanish and Portuguese.
No, it's called Latin America. All languages come from Latin lands.
English and German do not come from Latin.
They do so. They come from old, original Latin dialect. Germany comes
Oh my
from
God, no. No, they do not.
Let me just say one thing without getting cut off, then you can have it right back.
All right.
There is, when you talk Latin, they have, let me make sure I say this right. They have the nomen, they have the case system. German has the same case system. Everything is duplicated off that except for them Eastern languages. I digress.
Wait, case system. What are you talking about?
When Germany has the, they have 4 different thes. They have the in the nominative. They have the in the genitive form. Then they have the in the accusative form. Then they have the in the ablative form. They have the, it's D-I-E, D-I-R, D-E-R. There's different type of thes. And in Latin, there is 22 different thes. They put it at the end of a word. It's like the O, the A. So it's the identical thing. They got their manuscript from
just
America.
Because they have similar uses for a particular part of the language doesn't mean that they're part of the same language. Just because I say el carro is the same thing as the car doesn't mean that they're the same. They come from the same language, even though they both the and el are the same with each other, as is car and carro are the same as with each other.
I'm asking you one time, brother, where is Latin Europe and Latin Africa?
There is no Latin Africa and there is no Latin Europe.
Okay, where is Latin America at?
It's what's South America and Central America and Mexico, but mostly
okay,
it's
the laws in America. What language did they come from? What did the maxims of laws in America come from in the 1860s?
Oh, stop it. What was your earlier question?
I said, what is American laws in?
American law?
Yeah.
America? Are you talking about the United States?
No, I said America. United States was made in like 1860 something, and it came from what, sir?
United States was born in 1776. Well, I mean 1781, but I digress. But
Okay,
if
well,
you're
how many
talking about
states
American law, you're gonna have
how
to be
many?
specific because American is a common word specifically referenced towards the United States. It's a demonym. So
So you telling me
when you saying for some when I say you're from the United States, saying somebody he's an American, people will naturally assume he's from the United States. They don't say that he's from Canada or that he's from Mexico or that he's from Brazil, even though those continents are called North America and South America. American generally is a specific has a specific meaning.
it has a meaning? It's a continent.
When
I'm from
somebody says
South
America,
America.
it's meant to be the United States. That's what I was trying to say.
I'm saying you're wrong. There's the United States of Canada. There's the United States of Mexico. There's the United States of the United States of Europe. They just made the United States of Africa 3 years ago. They have 50 United States, bro. You
Okay.
talk. Well, hold on. Let me say one thing. Let me see. You're looking at a state as I didn't say I was from the United States. I said I was from America. That's not saying that I'm from the United States.
Yes, it
That's
is.
saying that there's
But
a continent.
to the average layman, when you say I'm from America, most people, even including Europeans and other foreigners, would say, okay, you're probably he's probably meaning that he's from the United States. This is common. This is mainstream.
When you say you're from Latin America, where you from?
I don't
I
know.
just
You're gonna have to be more specific. The
told
only
my
way,
point.
if you're gonna say I'm from Latin America, I'm gonna say, so that means you're from either South America, Central America, or Mexico.
Okay. Fine, thank you. That's the America. I did that don't mean it's
You
from the
said
United States.
but you said
Hold
Latin
on, hold
America,
on,
not
hold on.
America.
Well, let me just say one thing, bro. You just said that saying you from America is saying you from the United States. I just said where's Latin America? That is not in America. That is not in the United States. So
I
that word is not pertaining to United States. I
do
digress.
you know? Okay, but you said Latin America, not America. There's a difference
It's
between the two. There's a difference between the
South
two.
America. Where's South America at?
That bottom continent right there. When you don't
Okay, where's
include,
North America?
basically it's Latin America if you do not include the Caribbean, Mexico, or Central America.
Okay, where's North America at?
North America is generally Mexico, United States, and Canada.
You just said it's pertaining to the United States.
North America. I said You said North America, not America.
Okay, you're right. I meant to say North America. I'm from the Americas. Them is a continent. There's a continent called America. There is not a country called America. There is not one country in the world called America. It's
I,
the United States of America. That's just that
okay,
simple. I'm,
so okay, well, let me put it this way. Um, what do you call somebody from Canada?
I call them a person that migrated from Europe or Africa because Canada is a corporation that was made in 1850s.
Okay, okay, well, okay, go
Answer my
ahead.
question, bro. Let me answer my question. See, this is what the Moors bring in. The Civil War and the Indian Wars happened in Canada first, and that's when our first empire failed. So people from Canada are not from these lands. They're not from the Americas like me. I digress.
Okay, so in regular usage, when someone says a person from Canada, they say Canadian. When somebody says, "Oh, I'm from Mexico," oh, he's a Mexican. Oh, somebody say he's from Brazil. Oh, he's Brazilian. So when somebody says, "Oh, he's from the United States," they don't say United Statesian. They say, "Oh, he's an American." That's what I'm talking about here.
I'm not saying you wrong, but see, you're dealing with the wrong. Like, let me just say something if I'm getting cut off because I didn't cut you off. You're dealing with the wrong channel. My name is Root Words. See, let me just get done real quick. See, we understand wordplay over here. When you look up the definition in any world of America, it's going to say a continent, bro. It's not going to say that. So if you're going to bring Ebonics to the equation, I'm going to say you're correct. That's Ebonics. But when we get into law, like Sunil University was, getting into these law books and getting into Webster's dictionary, we just got to start going off words like that, and that's all we doing. And I'm just still wondering what did
And
Sunil say
I
wrong?
and I will say, and I'm gonna say to you that you're um digging into the deepest ripples of the etymology of words isn't part of the law.
All law words come from root words.
No,
Just show me one that ain't. I didn't say 50, 100, 1,000. I said all.
I
Just
know.
show me one I didn't, bro. I'm real good at these words. Be careful.
Okay. Person.
Person is que persona. That's a person. That's law. That's Latin root word. It's per and son. Per is a root word and son is a root word. You put them together, that's a human. That's a root word, bro. And it's
And
in Latin.
nobody but the problem is nobody pays attention to the root word. They pay attention to what it's defined is in today, as far as today goes. And the law doesn't give two shits about per or the prefix of per from person being something that was meant something from 4,000 years ago, dude.
So why do they use it in law today?
Because words have meaning and meanings change over time.
Not in law.
Yes, they do in law.
Can I show
They
you real quick?
absolutely do in law.
I'm gonna show you this. What law has changed?
Oh my god. Well,
Oh, see, you're getting into amendments and statuses. See, I'm looking this stuff up and showing the people on the thing, and me and you both keep going different places. This argument was over. You and Mr. Swindle was on Sunil University's channel saying he was saying something wrong.
yeah.
Now we're over here, and I'm challenging you on law. There's no such thing as law post 1861. It's called a coup. Let me make sure I show it right.
A coup d'etat?
Law, yes, this is law when we lost our constitution in America.
Wait a minute. So, the outbreak of the Civil War was a coup d'etat.
The end of it.
Because you're saying 1861 now.
Yes. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Your European brothers,
Between who?
y'all never had a standing army. Let me just get done real quick. Your European brothers, see, you said y'all ran in the Crusades. See, after the Civil War, y'all came over here and we was ruined. It was the black and white so-called natives that Christopher Columbus seen. We lost wars over here. That's what I'm trying to get to you, and that's what I'll show you where it happened at in America and everything. I'm gonna give you the year.
Okay.
It's in law and everything. Your turn. Go ahead, brother. I'm done.
No, I would love to see this so-called war amongst Moors that happened in 1861 that led to the fall of your empire. I assume within the American continent. Is that what you're trying to say?
Okay, yes, I am. I'm going to prove it right now. Is there such thing as the Baltic Slavic languages?
Yes.
Okay, so why is there a city in America called Baltic Moors? Is that sure when the Ottoman and the Baltic people came over here and beat us?
You're gonna have to ask the people in Baltic Moor, whatever state
I'm
that is.
Now, hold on. You just said give you a war. I'm about to give you a war in New Amsterdam, which is New York.
Okay.
You want to go there with me, man?
Yeah, I know. Okay, you really think I didn't know that New Amsterdam was what's now New York?
Yes, and it was a
war that Dutch colony.
It was a Baltics, because that's where the Dutch land is at, is in the Baltics, correct?
New Amsterdam is a Dutch. Oh my God, Amsterdam is in the Netherlands.
Hold on, I got a map right here. It's right there, all like in the same region, right? It's not in Europe. It's in the Baltic regions. It's in the Baltic Sea, bro. Am I wrong or right?
Wrong.
I'm showing a map for it. Before we get there, am I wrong?
You're wrong.
Okay, where's it at then?
New Amsterdam? Okay. Or excuse me, the Netherlands? Is in Northern
Europe. Where's the Netherlands at?
Northern Europe.
Northern Europe, where? Where?
Right around Germany.
I'm in Northern Europe right here.
All right, you're not, are you?
Right around Germany in the Baltic.
Are you displaying?
Let's go to the Baltic.
Hey, hold, time out. Are you displaying anything?
Yes, I'm displaying.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, I'm displaying the Baltic Sea.
Okay.
This is the Baltic Sea we're talking about.
Okay.
You see the Moor Baltic? That's the Baltic Sea.
Okay.
Where is the Netherlands at? Right there.
That's not the Netherlands, dude. Oh my God. Dude, the Netherlands.
Okay. I could be wrong. Okay,
The
where are they
Netherlands are
at?
next to Belgium.
Okay, well let's go to Belgium. So you're saying it's right here? I mean, I could be
That's
wrong.
right
Okay, we're on the
there.
map, man. The map. That's not right next to the Baltic people. That's
Okay.
not right
Oh
there.
no. So
That's
now
not
you're
right there.
correcting yourself. Okay, good. You're correcting yourself.
Yeah,
It's
you're
now
right.
it's
No,
right
I'm in the wrong
next to
spot.
the Baltics.
I'm in the wrong spot. I'm in the wrong spot. They call that New Amsterdam. I can say I'm in the wrong spot, but it's the Baltic regions. The Baltic people ran them lands. That's when I said y'all came over here and ran.
And the Baltic,
See, I can.
but the Netherlands isn't. It's not
Don't
even
cut me off,
part of
though,
the
bro.
Baltics either.
Hold on, bro. I did not cut you off, brother. We have had
When we talk about the Baltics,
one thing, because I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm admit when I'm wrong. This is the Baltic lands over here, people on my channel. See, there's a city in America called Baltimore that I was trying to get to, where it was New Amsterdam and the Baltic people that came over here when they was in the Ottoman Empire. See, that's what I was trying to get to, but me and him went somewhere else. So I was wrong saying it was in the. It's right next door. It's not even 50 miles from there. That's not even a 100-mile dash. But you're right, though. I fall back.
you threw in a lot. So now you accepted that the Netherlands is not in the anywhere near the Baltic Sea.
I'm saying it's 100 miles away from the Baltic Sea. 100 miles.
But it's not
100
part of the
miles.
Baltics.
Correct. You're right. You're right. I was wrong on that. There you go. See, I admit when I'm wrong. Now, are you going to tell me that there wasn't a war over here with the Moors and the Baltic people in New Amsterdam?
Yes, I'm saying that.
Okay, I'm going to show you the year in the war. I'm going to show you the New Amsterdam War. It's between the Baltic people over here. Are you serious, man? Wow. Why do you think they call it Baltimore?
You keep.
Hold on, one more time.
Because it was named after Lord Baltimore of England.
I didn't cut you off, brother.
Because it was named after Lord Baltimore of England. Baltimore, BALT has nothing to do with the Baltics, man. This is where I'm getting at, where you're going way too deep into these root words and suffixes and prefixes that have no relation to each other.
So you telling me that Baltimore don't have nothing to do with the Baltic states that was over here, the Russians and them that was over here?
Absolutely.
Would you like me to show you with wars and everything, man?
First show me the war with Moors in New Amsterdam first, and then we can go into Baltimore.
I'm showing you the name of it.
You're showing me a map. You're showing me Trenton, New Jersey.
I'm like, wow. I mean, look at the name. It's not even named Balto. It's named Baltics. The Baltimore, the wars in Tripoli. This is Tripoli.
What the
But let's stay here. I just want to stay on this subject. I will get into the treaties for you if you want me to. I will go to the treaties because you know the first capital of America was in Philly. It wasn't in Washington, D.C. So you Europeans wasn't in Washington, D.C. yet.
I'm well aware of that.
Okay, then. So let's get before America. And then let's get to when the United States was made in 1778 and only had 3 states.
13.
And it was going up against the Continental Army. There was only 3 states in 1778.
There were 13 colonies, and they had the Continental Army against the British.
In 1778, there was 3 states. Do you know the name of the 3 states in 1778?
There was 13 colonies.
I didn't say that. I said there was 3 states.
There were no states at the time. There were no states in 1778.
First states in USA. I mean, wow, man, this is what we do, brother. You ain't talking to no average black people, brother. I'm just trying to say, man, you're talking to some people that lightweight know some things over here, man. Look, here's what it says right here. In 1778, they only had 3 states, brother. 3 states with 13 colonies in them.
Does that say 1778 or does that say 1787? You're a little off there, buddy.
I got the years wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got a little bit wrong, buddy. About 15 years, right?
Okay, no, I got it wrong. I was wrong. In 1787.
Man, that confidence, though. That confidence, though.
Man, I can see you will not admit nothing you're wrong on. I'm going to show that you're wrong and you're still going to go crazy. So, fine. I'm just saying, in 1787, the United States only had 3 states. Now, who was the Continental Congress?
Who was the Continental Congress?
That gave y'all these 3 states. See, the American continent gave the United States of the continent.
They were the first ones to ratify the Constitution. Therefore, they were the
So they
first three to
redid
be
it.
admitted.
Redid it.
Huh?
So they got admitted into the Constitution because they left their lands through Christian persecutions and they could not handle the heat in their lands.
You okay? You are okay. Now we're about we're going back 250 years in history here. Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and the other colonies won their war of independence against Great Britain, and thereby eventually made their constitution. And then the first three states to ratify state constitution was Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, therefore making them the first three to be
where was the
admitted.
Continental Army, bro? Hey, bro, look, where was the Continental Army? Where's the continent? See, this is a continent right here. I'm from the America. Hold on, bro. Look. Hold on. Quit cutting me off. I'm not gonna cut you off. I haven't cut you off, and I've treated with you mad respect. We're gonna stick to one subject. This 1787. When just at right now, I ain't trying to debo nothing, but we keep cutting each other off. But look, America is a continent. It's the continent of America, and the three United States got accepted because they left their homelands, like you said. They didn't win a war. Europe has never in its life won a war. The only time Europe has won a war is when America has went over there and protected it. I digress.
Okay, so there was a Continental Army that was what was called the Continental Army by the First Continental Congress when they tried to declare independence from Great Britain. They were called the Continental Army because it was an amalgamation of all of the various peoples and various armies of each colony that was in existence there. Continental, of course, they didn't have the entirety of the continents under their control, but they were the largest group, political group of representation in that continent. So therefore, because they weren't going to call themselves they didn't call themselves the Colonial Army, they called themselves the Continental Army. That's why it's called Continental Army.
Now, this is all I'm trying to say to you. I'm looking at these three states. They're saying this is the United States of the continent. These are the first three United States of the continent, America. The United States of America. The three states in 1787 of America. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the continent. Let me just talk. I'm not going to cut you off. These are the three states right here with 13 colonies inside there. There's New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware right here. The continent is all of this. They did not go to war with the continent. Y'all came over here on a servitude level. And this is Great Britain right here, this little island that didn't do nothing, sir. Hold on, I'm not done. I'm just trying to say we might have two different opinions, but we still got to let each other get our turns off. There's the story going off that this little itty bitty island and Europeans came over here on a war path. I'm saying the Europeans came over here as our servants and students because they did not have nothing and could not do nothing because they got kicked out their lands. I could be wrong, but we're still going to give each other respect on our opinions. I digress.
The colonies, the former 13 colonies, were once subjects of Great Britain. Great Britain didn't want to, did a bunch of weird, stupid shit, and the 13 colonies rebelled. Great Britain already had a garrison from the outset of the war in those colonies, and that's where they got their troops from. Later on, as the war progressed, that little country, which was a global empire at the time, sent more reinforcements across the pond to reinforce the garrisons that were already there. So the Continental Army was facing against the army of Great Britain. They weren't facing a Moorish army. They weren't facing any other army. And your obsession with why these first three states is weird because the war itself ended in 1781, 6 years before the Constitution was ratified, and the colonies became states, or at least states under the Constitution and not states under the Articles of Confederation.
Okay, one word I'm going to stick to when you said garrisons. When you said garrisons, I looked it up, and that's referring to units of troops or its headquarters.
Okay.
So when I look at garrisons, There is no place in the European hemisphere that's called garrison or has a resemblance or garrison or has history of garrisons. Now hold on, I'm not done. When I just Google this stuff, I mean it's simple. We have cities called garrisons. Hold on now, I'm not done with that. I'm not done though. I'm just trying to say I'm looking for anything in the European county, European world, especially England, that's a garrison that you just said, sir. I digress.
A garrison doesn't have to be a named place. A garrison can be a small fort within a larger city. That's why I'm saying there was a garrison in Boston. There was a garrison in New York. Oh, what the hell, man? Fort Ticonderoga was a fort. It's probably now a town. That's why you have Fort Worth, Fort Lauderdale. There were once forts or garrisons in and of themselves before they became cities. But a garrison is a military term. I never said anything about them having to be a named geographic location. What? I don't know where you're going with this.
This is what I'm trying to say. You just named Fort Lauderdale. I'm just showing right here. See, I'm just going off your words. First, you said garrisons, which is none in England. Great Britain is a great place that ran the world without a garrison. And then you just said forts. Y'all have maybe a fort or two in England. We have over 1,000 in America. So you're taking over our history. I digress, bro.
Why are you talking about as if I'm supposed to be talking on behalf of Great Britain?
You just said Great Britain had all these forts and all this marvelous stuff, but you named Fort Tallahassee and Fort. You just named.
No, I was using that as an example. I was using the term of forts as an example. I was not speaking it as if Great Britain had Fort Lauderdale under its control. I don't know if it did or not, but I'm saying that a garrison is a military structure. It's like a military base. So that's all I'm talking about in the context of the war that you're talking about that didn't happen.
Okay, now since you said that Great Britain had garrisons, which means a place of war, and a place where they can go grab a lot of troops at.
A unit of troops or its headquarters, yes.
Okay, can you please name me a garrison in England that had that stuff?
I can. Why would I wouldn't know? I wouldn't know what relevance does that have to do with your argument? I don't know why you're thinking that's a gotcha.
You said Great Britain. These is two different schools of thoughts here. Your great school of thought, which I respect, and my great school of thought, which I hope you respect. You're saying that this little island called Great Britain went somewhere and did things, but there's no place over here called garrison, and they don't have no garrisons over here, and they might have a fort or two over here, and we got 1,000 in America. So whatever you're saying, you don't know the places in Europe, but they're all in America, so you might need to read your books again.
No, I don't. No, you just don't understand what I'm trying to say. And what I'm trying to say is that, I'll say it again, garrison is a military structure. It does not have to be named geographically. That's why I said earlier at the very beginning that the British already at the time of the War of Independence had garrisons. They had a set location within a city in Boston where they had troops stationed. They had that in the outbreak of the war. Moreover, you keep saying that we have all these thousands of fucking forts all over the place. Not most of those forts didn't fucking exist at that time. I don't know why you're counting forts from Colorado as if that's supposed to count when Colorado didn't exist as a state at the time, or that city or that fort didn't exist at the time.
They did not exist until the Europeans came over here and built up all that stuff, huh?
Yep.
So why can't y'all do it in your homelands today?
What are you talking about? Homelands.
What's my
homeland? What's my homeland?
Skyscrapers in Europe or England.
Have you ever been to London?
Yeah, no, but I've seen pictures. Okay. They don't build that stuff. Why is y'all towers leaning? Why did y'all make the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Because y'all's architect.
What the does pizza have to do with England? Oh my God! Come on, man.
Brother. I did not cut you. rebut me. All you got to do is rebut me, brother. I'm going from you said Great Britain had all this great garrison and forts. You can't name a fort in Great Britain or a great historical place that has garrison stuff there. We have garrison historical places all through the Americas. I'm showing it. Where is the Great Britain garrison? I digress.
I do not understand your entire point of there needing to be a garrison or a physical named location that I have to point out in Great Britain to still claim that Great Britain had garrisons in the colonies. I don't understand why you keep saying like this is as if this is a fucking gotcha. And now you're saying that there are no skyscrapers in England?
I meant to say Europe. I fell back. I said Europe. You see, I said Europe, and you know England is not a part of Europe. So
You don't think Paris or Madrid have their own?
No, they don't. Their lands ain't strong enough to have skyscrapers like every city in America.
They're not strong enough. That's a
Yeah,
new one.
I don't know. Hold on now. Let me just say one thing. I'm sticking to the story. You said during the colony times, all the way up to the 1800s or 1700s, Great Britain had a garrison place where they could round up a whole bunch of troops and a whole bunch of ships and come over here in America and kick ass.
I'm not saying they all had a centralized location where they can marshal their troops.
So you said
I imagine that they had forts. But you're trying to ask me as if I'm supposed to know, as somebody who's not from England. I'm not from England. I'm not from Great Britain. I wouldn't know these things, dude. I'm an American. I knew American history. Why the fuck would I know about where these specific military locations were supposed to be back in the 1780s? What makes you think I'm supposed to know that?
Hey, just calm down, brother. I'm just like, I understand you don't know. I'm glad you admitted it. I digress. I'm glad you don't know. Keep on saying it.
Yeah, okay.
But
The fact that I don't know doesn't mean that you could therefore declare that they never existed.
I'm not saying you wrong. We're just having a good conversation over here. And I'm just glad that you admitted you don't know. And I'm just finding out things that I didn't know neither at my 40s. I'm probably older than you. So I'm not dogging you or nothing. Just a lot of stuff that we don't know that we're just uncovering. That's all, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm new to this information too. Just when everybody talk about this history that they fed us in America, the system, the evil system from the devil or from a negative entity, they just feed us different things and separate us through hate. And I'm just looking at stuff different, bro. That's all. I digress.
Okay. I got nothing to say about that, about what you think our current education comes from, but I still somebody just reminded me. Can you show me where the name and the location of the battle in Amsterdam?
Yeah, my fault. Here, let me go to this war for you real quick. New Amsterdam. Let me go to my treaties. Let me go to Wikipedia and treaties. All I gotta do is go to the war. This stuff is Wikipedia easy. I don't even know why I did this. The War of New Amsterdam. Yeah, you could Google this stuff. Everything I do is Google easy. Is it New Amsterdam War or is it New Amsterdam War? New Amsterdam War. Is it 1620? The Pig War, New Amsterdam. Okay, I know they got a different name. I mean, it's not that hard to look up. This stuff is the Kief's War, the Wapineers War. Was a conflict between the colony of New Netherlands and the Lenape Indians,
Okay.
which we know was from Brown Brothers. Okay, so the Netherlands, and so all them people was from old Europe, which we don't understand. I'm not gonna say we don't understand because I'm still learning too, brother. Because I came through a history that I don't know neither. But just that's like saying Michigan and Chicago ain't the same when I say Baltimore and Netherlands ain't the same. So I just digress. Here go the wars right here.
Okay. So you're saying Kief's War is between the colony of New Netherland, and then I assume it probably had a battle or something like that in New Amsterdam. And then the Lenape Indians in New York. Are you saying that the Lenape Indians are Moors?
Let's see. I mean,
I guess I'm kind of trying to figure out what. I guess I got lost in saying what was the significance of this war. What was the point you were trying to prove with this
I,
war?
I see. Okay, here we go. Here, I'll do this for you real quick. I'll do this for you. This is what I'm trying to say. The peace and friendship treaty, peace and friendship treaty of 1778. See, I didn't even have to pull it up. See what I'm saying? I'm just gonna pull the one up. See, there were ones in Nova Scotia too, in all these places. I ain't gonna even get into them. I ain't gonna even get into them yet, though. I'm gonna get into the one in America. The first time anybody ever made it into America. See, it was between the continent of Morocco, America, and their three little colonies. I digress.
3 little colonies.
My fault. 3 states with 13 colonies in there. I digress.
3 states with 13 colonies in there. No, my God, the treaty was ratified by the Confederation Congress in 1787. This was before the Constitution was ratified, therefore before the states as we understand them today even existed.
They didn't exist.
Right, they were still part of the under the Articles of Confederation, and it was a treaty. It was a treaty. It was a trade treaty, and it also involved the issuance of dealing with piracy in Morocco, as in Morocco in Africa, not Morocco in the American continent.
Okay, if that's what you say. Everybody got a right to their opinion, but I'm trying to say the Continental Congress. The Continental Congress came together with a confederation of people because they left their homelands and signed their declarations.
Right, there was 2 of them, you know.
Yeah, I know it was the Continental. See, I'm just showing you the Congress of the Continental Congress. It wasn't the Confederation until 1781.
Right, when the Confederation Articles of Confederation were ratified.
In the 13 colonies that we gave to them.
You didn't give anything to us.
We might be the same people, bro, because we both just waking up. So I understand. See, they trick us with that stuff, bro. I'm not a black person, man. I'm a Moor, man. We say all people come from their mothers, man. So I understand that you might still be going through this American thing too, though, man. But I'm a little older, man. I'm not going through that shit, man. So
Okay.
it really ain't us. It's really us as a mental understanding. So when you say that you don't come from Europe, you don't even know that you're a European. You might be an Irish guy. They say most red men are the Indians. Y'all turn red, not us.
My father did a genealogy for us via DNA testing. So I have a good idea of where my lineage comes from both sides of my family.
No problem. So I ain't trying to get into that. I'm just trying to say that if it is us and y'all, then we did give it to y'all. If you came from Europe, we gave y'all lands over here and y'all had to sign pieces of paper for it. And y'all came from the Continental Congress and we confide with y'all. That means con means with the Federation. Y'all was with the Continental Federation. So, okay, if you say it like that, yes, we gave y'all this stuff because y'all didn't want to stay in your homelands.
Con can also have a negative connotation with it, you know. Con is with in a Latin term. Conmigo is like with us.
Yeah, in any European language, it means it's a root word.
But it's also a prefix, like pros and cons. What are the pros and cons of this argument?
Prefixes
So there's multiple meanings in what you say is a root word, isn't there?
No.
Oh, apparently not.
I'm trying to tell you. Hold on. See, if we're gonna stick to that, the word con means woof, and it only means that unless you misplace it with KH, and it means the con. There's no other meaning. It can't mean nothing else. I digress.
Okay, so no, I don't know where you got that idea because con has been shown to have a negative connotation to go with it. As I said in my example, the pros and cons of an argument. Pro meaning the positive aspect, the cons meaning the negative aspects. And then you trying to say that con only means with, as in from its Latin
root word.
Yeah, as is the only meaning in existence or the only meaning given to it in current English speech is incorrect.
Okay, now I'm just gonna say I was wrong for saying it don't take a negative meaning when it's not in its proper form. See, it's really, let me not get cut off. In its Latin root and in every last other Latin language, even English, the word con is really with.
Okay. It can
But,
be
but
used. It can, I'm not saying. I'm not saying it can't be used as such.
brother, 1 second, brother. But when you put the word with a con acre, that's like with the acre, and that makes the word negative because you take a word and take it out of its natural form. There's no such thing as prefixes in other language. Them are called preposition words. When you see the word co, that means with. When you see the word com, that means with. When you see the word col, that means with. When you say a column is a whole bunch of books with each other or a row of something. When you say collision, that's with, like everything that's with that wreck. When you say communication, that's with. When you say common, that's with. When you say continent, that's with the whole land. Any words you put with the co after that is with, bro. In all languages. I digress.
And I would say this is another example of trying to read into uh, words using only similarities with their suffixes and prefixes, and you're reading into their meaning way too hard based purely on the first two letters that they start with.
I show people if you take the word, I mean, maybe you're right, man. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm saying I go deep in the words because that's what they say. God said. God said He's with the word, and the word is with God. And then we know law. There's different words, and then we know we talk the subject language. We know everybody from other countries come over here and talk different languages, but us American white and black people are the only person subjected to a subject language.
So
So I'll get deep in words though. So when you look at the word con, that's a root word. When you look at the word tin, that's a root word. That means hold in all languages. You know, like a tin cup, like when you say ten, that's a hold of 1 and 0. You know what I'm saying? When you say a tent, when you say tentacles, it's holding something. So when you naturally understand the root words, you'll understand all the Latin words and all the Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and French. So you can see how the Europeans are looking at us when we don't know it.
you
Like when you
realize
say,
that you do realize that there's like 40 different meanings for the word set in English, right? SET.
no, it's only one.
I set the table.
You're standing.
Uh, how many sets in a tennis game?
It's still sitting. See, you don't understand what the root word of set is. Set is SED. It's when you sit somewhere.
S
Hold on, I'm just
set
trying to
is
tell you something.
SET, not
Look
DT.
for the root word SED because it comes from a seed, and the seed sits in the ground, and a star stands in the sky. It's still when you sitting somewhere and you succeed. It's when you sit somewhere. I'm trying to tell you, I'm root words, brother.
Okay, now no. Now you're getting away from talking about root words. Now you're saying because words sound similar, they have similar meaning.
No, I'm showing you the
No, you
origin of
just
the
said
word.
succeed
I'm showing
and
you the origin
seed.
of the word sets. The
You
origin of
realize
the word
seed? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to do this because you said succeed has a similar meaning as seed. SEED.
and it has the same meaning as SET. They're all the same thing. The root word is SED, and then you could put concede, reseed, proceed, and then you make a different word called set. Because when you set something somewhere, it is sitting. Like the first thing that set was a seed. I digress.
That is so goddamn wrong. I don't even know where to begin, man.
Okay, it was wrong. Please say what I said wrong. I said
Because
that.
I just gave you examples of several different words having SET having different meanings to it, having nothing to do with seed as in a plant seed. You know,
Oh, there you go. I'm not gonna get cut. Let me just do one thing without getting cut off. See, that's why I try to say a lot of people ain't gonna go there because they only know English, which I'm not even mad at them. But when you say, let me see if they can see my screen. Okay, they can see my screen. See, this is a seed. Draw, blah, 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 blah. See, when you say seed, it sits inside the ground. A seed sits inside the ground. So you got little seeds right here that's sitting inside the ground. That's what we had symbols of. So when you say the word set, you set something right here. When you set something, you're putting it down. You're seeding it. It's the end of it. It's set. I digress.
Okay, so I can also plant a seed into a pot and not in the ground.
And it's set
I
there, right? It's set there, right?
it
Is it set
grows.
there?
Nope.
It ain't in a seat.
A, a, a seed in a soil is not sitting.
It is sitting. It's resting. It's set. It's set there
I'd say it's planted.
It's set there. Planet. Okay, you're right. Planet, bro. Planet. Okay, cool. It's planet, which means it's sat inside that hole
Okay.
until it germinates.
See, you see how you're trying so very hard to square the circle. You're really doing your best to trying and shove this sort of connection building that you're doing into each other. It's not a good look.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
not gonna.
understand. I do not. I'm sorry. I don't understand where you're getting this idea that words that sound similar to each other and do not spell the same or even close to the same have the same meaning to each other.
Hey, look. Okay, here we go again. Okay, I mean, I'm not really doing this to slander you or nothing. I got people here, and I like having cordial conversation. So I'm if people don't know where I'm coming from, fine. Let the crowd choose. Let the crowd be the chooser. But anyway, this is a root word. It's the seed that's in the ground. And then it goes off and make different words, bro. Now I said the word seed, which is SEED, and it's the same word SED. Them are the root words. They sit right here. And the word set is like it ain't even a root word. It's what you call let me make sure I say this right. It's what you call a base word. I digress.
It is said even a word SED.
When you say proceed,
That's not how you spell proceed.
okay, spell it. Oh my god, hey man, wow, and you
Proceed
silent
is
E. I apologize. The E
PROCEED.
is silent, bro. The E is silent. There's no such thing as E, and when it's silent, I don't put the letter there. I don't
Bruh.
put.
Bruh, there are two E's in proceed, man. Not CED.
Okay, man, I said it right here. Here it is. Them is the same words. There's no. It sounded the same. It's the same word. There's no
And now
such.
you're saying because it
Oh,
sounds
don't
the
cut me
same, it's the
off. I'm
same
not cutting
word.
you off. Okay, bro,
You're
look,
doing that
I'm not cutting
again.
you off.
Go
Brother, I'm
ahead,
not
go
cutting you
ahead.
off. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Look, them is the same words. They sound the same. There's no such thing as two-letter words in the world. There's only two-letter words in this fake English. There's no such thing as ACC, ATT. All these two-letter words is fake. That's why I did it like that. I digress, bro. I digress, brother.
ACC and ATT are three-letter words. Just wanted to correct you on that.
Say that again.
ACC and ATT are three-letter words.
No, when
You said they were two-letter,
when you say attention, you put two T's there. When you
right?
say ACC, you put two C's there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no such thing as that. They only do this in the English language. Like when they say silent letters, you ain't even supposed to put it there if it's silent. If it's silent, why is it there? I digress.
I okay, I don't know why
There you go
a
again.
Great Britain decided to spell certain words the way they did, like acceleration or attack, and with them having two T's and two C's in there. I'm not going to say anything as to why they do that. I just know that that's how they're spelled.
Hey man, all I'm saying is you keep admitting you don't know, and I'm saying I'm still learning, but I'm showing my evidence. So out of both of these conversations,
I
hold on, I ain't cut you off, brother. I haven't cut you off yet neither. All I'm saying is you keep saying you don't know, and I'm saying I'm learning and I'm showing my evidence. I digress.
You're not showing me evidence. You're showing me your interpretation of the origins of the English language and fucking running with it. And it's not making a lick of sense to anybody, especially not folks in my chat.
So when you go to these words right here, see, I didn't even want to go. Okay, see, I got my own notebook because I'm coming out my own lexicon, bro. It's gonna break the Latin. I mean, okay, if you want to say this, so this is how you do a root word. It's simple. See, this is the Latin tongue right here, and here go the so-called German tongue right here. See, here are the four thes in German. Since your chat sees, ask them is these the four thes in German. They have four thes. They have a like a masculine, feminine, neutral, and plural. It's some sick shit over here. We have not, if you don't know language, it's hard for me to even, but here we
Okay.
go. Hold on, 1 second. I'm not done yet, brother. Let me just say one little thing real quick. One little thing. Here go root words right here. These top words, when you say nomen and when you put nominate, they come from the root words. But if you see the words under here, this is international language. All internationals don't speak the letters we have. They speak different letters. I'm showing you right here, and you can't rebut it because you don't know. I'll digress.
Okay, so yeah, no, I'm sorry because I'm gonna stop you right there. I'll go with your one of your words, nav, where you say nav has a root word in ship for some reason. You don't realize like nav is in navigation. You realize that that's something that we use to say to get to a location and place. You realize not everybody uses a ship to get to where they are. Navigation, I use my GPS nav to go to work every day. I'm driving a car. Pilots use navigation software to fly. So the idea that navigation or the use of nav is automatically referencing boats is false. Right there. Period.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Before 1915, there was no cars. Before 1920, there was no there was no there was no airplanes. I digress.
And that is why I say, and I said it before and I'll say it again, words meanings can change over time.
It do
And
not
that is
mean
the perfect example. Thank you for giving me the perfect example of my point.
Okay, man, look, man. The word ship, when you look it up in anything else, it means vessel, especially in law. And you come from your mother's navigating her naval. She's the first commanding ship, and you came through her water, sir. And before 1900s, nobody was thinking about a car or a airplane. It wasn't in our thought. We was all on boats, sir. I digress.
And whatever happened in history is irrelevant to what's happening now. And I really wish you didn't do that, but I was afraid you were going to do it to start saying that being birthed by my mother has anything to do with the Navy, navigation, or naval, or ships, or bullshit. I really, really hope that you weren't going to make that connection between birth, B-I-R-T-H, and birth, B-E-R-T-H, as if they have anything to do with each other, which they do not. Just because they sound the same doesn't mean that they have the same meaning or even close to having the same meaning. I digress.
Okay, I'm gonna show you that word means not. I'm gonna look like it's embarrassing that which one is this? Which one is this? That's embarrassing. I don't got the word not. All words that's birth, bath, blah, blah. All them words come from this word right here. N-A-T. I don't got it here, but I'm gonna do it real big. N-A-T. All words that start with birth start with that. You want to get into that? Every word you're talking about, because birth is what you call a post preposition or it's a past. You birthed a child. No, it's in the noun. You're birthing the child. Yeah, she is in birth. That's the noun tense. And then when you put it in its past tense, she has birthed the child. And then when you put it in its past participle, the child is born. And then when you put the child inside the stomach, she is the bear of a child. She bears child. Them is all the same word. They're verbs. I digress.
Yeah, and I'm saying, again, they have nothing to do with each other.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to show it one more time because, a lot of people don't know nothing about, I can't say that we just wasn't schooled. We was tricked in America, but I'm going to show it. When you say the word bear, like when they be saying that dumbass shit, the Berber, the bear is the mother. That's when you bear child. She's the fur. She's the fur, like the fairy, See, that's how you do the language. Like when you bear a child. That word bear turns into birth. That is in its noun state. That is in its present state. She is in birth. She is Birth, ing, birthing the child. Now you put it in this post-sism, she birthed the child. Then you put it in it's over with, which is called as past participle. The child is born. All them words are the same words. The same word. Hold on, let me give you one more example. Just like the word to be. To be is the same exact word as she is, I am, you are, and then in its past tense, it's was and were. And then in its regular tense, it's a human being, but it's not a human being that she's being worked on. And then in its past tense, it's being. Them is the same word. Us in English don't understand nothing about. I'm done. I digress. Thank you. Thank you for not cutting me off.
Okay. Are you saying that bear, as in a woman bears a child, has the same meaning as a large four-legged furry animal that lives across a couple continents?
Yes, sir, because I'm saying that's our mother animal. We honor the mother bear. Just like Africa, their mother animal or their great animal is the lion. I digress.
Wow.
What is your opinion? Like I'm not saying I think they got the white bear up there. Like when they look at the great white bear up there, that's way harder than our bears. See, I'm trying to keep on now.
You know that the natural symbol in England is a lion, right, and not a bear. But you're trying to say that bear in English means the same thing as the four-legged creature in North America and Western or Eastern Europe and Russia and so on. But notwithstanding that being the sort of like representative of the Earth Mother, England has the lion as its kind of national animal.
I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just trying to say lions never made it to England and they couldn't live in them cold climates up there, and the so-called black and brown bear could not neither. So the greatest of bears, to my knowledge of the greatest of bears, the white bear, could live in England and them northern lands. I digress, sir.
I believe the largest bear is the grizzly, and they're in
I didn't
Canada.
say grizzly. I said the most aggressive and the most. Humans aren't scared of grizzlies. Humans might take a knife or go out in grizzly land. Everybody know when you go in white bear land, don't go there. They're coming after you and they're going to eat you. I digress.
So, by what you mean the polar bears, right?
Yes, I'm just trying to say the polar bears. Yes, so I'm just not putting it to America. I'm putting it to all of Europe too.
But polar bears are, they largely live in the North Pole, and a lot of them are in Canada still, not in Europe.
So you telling me that Germany and all them, Sweden and Norway and all them don't have polar bears up there?
I would say that's doubtful. I'm not going to bet money of it, but I'm going to say it's doubtful.
Me neither. Me neither. I'm with you. Me neither. I can agree with you. Me neither. I'm just saying that I don't think that a lion is up there in England, bro. I just don't think that.
I'm not saying that the lion is native to England, but I would see in a lot of English iconography, in a lot of English shields and family seals, and of course the British royal family, they have the lion as their representative animal, just as the eagle is representative in the United States.
Yeah. So I mean, the eagle and the bear.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Let me finish. But going back to the original point, you then talked about how bear is the same word as bearing child, and those have the exact same meaning. You're saying an animal is the same damn thing as a woman giving birth, bearing children.
You said the word. Say, what is she doing again?
The fact that she's bearing children, that is a different thing.
Yeah.
What she's bearing children. So she's throwing a bear at her kids?
Okay, if that's what you say, bro. I'm just trying to say when you bear something, you possess it. That's what so-called ideology of mine is, that the Moors, there's a certain group of Moors that saying the mother bears a higher respect. Your mother, my mother, your grandmother, my grandmother, all these women that we was not trained on in America, that they're the bears. They
You,
bear children,
and
so we should give them
you know you could bear more than just children, right?
no, you can't. What else can you bear?
Bear arms.
No, you can't bear arms. You hold arms. You hold arms.
Second Amendment.
No, that is not bear though. You a bear, like I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to say it's a different science, brother. That this is magic. When you
Oh,
bear something, it magically appears.
oh,
Like in the woman's stomach,
bear
like
arm.
hold on, you got it right back, bro. You got it
All
right
right.
back. Milk magically appear in these women's breasts. I've seen it happen millions of times. They'd be like, "Oh, where did shit come from?" It magically appears in their stomach. I digress, bro.
So wait. So let me get this right. Are you saying bear arms, as in from the Second Amendment, as in the text of the Second Amendment, has a different meaning as from to bear children?
Nah, you just made a point. You're totally right. You bear arms because you magically woof them. They ain't talking about bearing a gun. It's talking about whatever is on your arm. Because you know there's a difference from having a gun and bearing arms. I digress. You're right, though. Thank you. Yes, that word is totally different. Yes, yes.
So
You don't
then,
have the right to
all
possess.
right. So now that you, okay, go ahead.
You don't have the right to possess guns. You got the right to bear arms. I digress.
Bear arms has been interpreted to meaning that you have the right to purchase and possess firearms. That has been a standard interpretation and confirmed in the court case.
Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you just woke me up a little bit. I said you just did because, like, I'm really a word person, and when if I ever got confronted, I would say I bear this arm. They'll say, "Well, you ain't in rights of possession of this, and you ain't do this." I said, "Look, man, I bear this arm." So I'm seeing a difference of possession and carrying concealed weapons, and there's a difference of the word bear and possess. 9/10 of the law is possess. You
Okay,
know,
well, okay, I don't know what that has to do with our discussion right there.
I'm trying to say that we don't possess arms. We bear our two arms on our body. They're there. When we put something on inside them arms, that's when it becomes possessive. I digress.
Bearing arms in the bearing arms back then, it meant to keep and maintain firearms for their personal use as part of a militia or as part of as an individual. The Nowadays, it's the Second Amendment has come to meaning that, again, both also to have them on your person, in concealed carry. There's still a debate on the extent of that liberty, but that's something that's being considered, whether or not that falls within the meaning of the right to bear arms. So there is, even as we speak, and I would say as a point of our entire jurisprudence in the United States, the way our courts operate is entirely it's entirely its entire foundation is about interpreting the meaning of words, the meaning of statutes, the meaning of certain decisions and situations that the court is trying to figure out. That in and of itself, kind of belies your argument that there is only one meaning to a word, and the meaning is also contingent upon whether or not it sounds similar to another word.
Okay, here we go. I ain't saying you wrong. I'm just going to show you examples so you can see where I'm getting at. I didn't just mean, if I said a word didn't mean that, I was wrong. This is what I'm trying to say. When you get to the root word, the word nat, like I told you, that means bear, birth, birthing, born. But it starts off in as nat. It means woman nature. So when you say NATURE, that just turned it into the birth of, you know what I'm saying? That's where everything comes from. It comes from nature. Now, when you say every time when it's state or anything, it comes through the nation. You know what I'm saying? When it's birth, it's in its natural state. So when you birth, you are a subject to you are a native to mother. But let's say it in Spanish. Let's say it in Spanish. Natio. Let's say it in like, it's like natus. That's in like Latin or something. It's all the same word, brother. They just don't teach us this in school. I digress. So I'm just trying to say the root word stays the same. They just put something different on there, but it still stays the same. It's still dealing with mother birth. I digress.
No, I would say no. A nation has a specific meaning. A native has a specific meaning. A natural or nature has a specific meaning to them. And the fact that they have the same 3 letters in front of them does not mean that they all smash together to this one root meaning. I think that's where we're having a fundamental disagreement here.
Nothing wrong with that. And I'm saying you're wrong in my school of thought because I'm saying all words come from the root word. And I just showed it. Any word you pop up, I'll take it to the root word and then show you 1,000 other words with it. I digress.
I got nothing left, man. I gotta get something to eat.
No problem, bro.
I think we're gonna have to close out.
Hey man, it was a great discussion, man. I hope everybody, you and everybody on your chat, know that we can come and build together. Who cares if we see right or wrong? Shout out the Atrex channel and thanks, bro. Have a, I mean,
No problem, man.
on your channel. Give your shouts out on your channel, man.
Hey, no worries, man. I appreciate having the discussion. Thank you, and we'll talk later.
All right.
I've made a terrible mistake. Oh my god. I don't know. I think I need to take like some physics courses to like kind of revitalize the brain cells I just lost. No, I did not pay him, Beowulf. Holy shit. It's just like he goes every fucking where, man. He's like a moving target, you know? It's like every sentence seemed to jump from one subject to another. Oh, I need a drink. But wow. Okay, guys. Thank you for sticking with me in there. And no, Mike, I'm not going to give you a goddamn midnight dab. Jesus. What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, I'm done. I'm hoping for a much more lighthearted stream tomorrow, but yeah, I was like, I'll challenge, I'll be your Huckleberry and challenge this guy's insanity in terms of how he interprets words and the roots and meanings of words, to his revisionist history, to everything in between. Whew. Okay. You guys have a good night. And, yeah, thank you for suffering through me. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.